Good morning.
Good evening,
Well,
brothers.
it's good evening for me and Brendan, and it's afternoon for CJ. So
Yeah, Salamat Sore. It is at the moment. Yeah,
beautiful, beautiful.
Sore.
So
Yeah.
what we're going to do is straight to CJ for his acknowledgement, his beautiful acknowledgement that he does, and then we'll have a yarn with Brendan.
Okay. All right. Well, listen. It's interesting actually when you say that, JB, because it's I've been doing a little bit of research, I suppose. So over here, especially in Indonesia, I'm talking about Indonesia because my great grandfather was a Makassar. He was from Makassar. He was from Makassar, which is part of Indonesia. It's one of the islands in the Indonesian group. So I'm on my great grandfather's country, really. And I've got to say,
Wow.
yeah, and pay my respects to the Balinese people here, but also the Makassar people who I bump into all the time here. There's people here that look at me and think, until I start talking, they say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were Australian." I said, "Oh, you look like Indonesia." He said like that. So it happens to me all the time. So they'll rattle off in their Indonesian words and that. But the worst thing I could do was learn a little bit of Indonesian. Now they all think I am Indonesian. You know what I mean? I catch them like that. But anyway, so I've got to pay my respects to the people of this country where I am at the moment. It's I'm in Bali, so Balinese people, the people that speak Bahasa or Bahasa here. I'll say pay my respects to the people here. They look after us. They gave me safe passage. It's great. But I've got to say that I better say that back home in Cairns and Yidinji people, I'd like to just pay my respects to those guys, acknowledge country that they're on, and also the Torres Strait Islander side of my family, where the Indonesian part of it comes from. So up in Badu, so Badigal people, pay my respects to their elders as well, and those emerging here as well, and also to your mob and your family and your country. Yeah.
So I'm going to say Suksama, bro.
Suksama, yes. Mawali.
Mawali.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with too much intelligence here. Yeah.
Beautifully said, CJ, as per normal. And I thank you for that beautiful acknowledgement. I too just want to acknowledge the traditional custodians where we all work, meet and play, and just pay the utmost respects to all our elders, past, present, and any up and coming. And also pay respects to our old people, our ancestors, for getting us where we are today, and just thank them for doing all the hard yards for us and making it a bit easier for us. And sometimes it's not easy, but compared to how they had it, I think we got it a little bit easier. And I just want to acknowledge my mob, the Muddy people, and down there in southwestern New South Wales, and just pay the utmost respect to all them and all our old people as well. And wherever we are today, just pay acknowledgement to whatever country we are on, whatever land we're on, and just going from there, brother. And I want to introduce our great brother and great mate too, Brendan Adams, back into the fold. I don't know how long it is since he's been on. It's probably been a couple of years.
Yeah.
Now, Brendan, the JB and CJ check-in has been now going for 6 years. So we're pretty proud of that. But we do acknowledge that you have been on a few times, and whenever you come on, brother, we just love to have you on, and just your enthusiasm and passion for life is it makes me smile every day. Every time I speak to you, brother, I love talking to you. And it's just one of our faves. And having spent a few days, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, I'm just losing track of time. But to see you work your magic in community when we were down there, when Midman Bar was last down there, and your great mate Ike Williams as well, for us to be able to see the respect and that you guys hold in community. It was just absolutely wonderful to see. We had about 10 fellas that we were working with, and it was just amazing, brother. So I do have to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and we just love getting you on and having you on, brother. So I'm going to hand it over to you. Yeah, just tell us what you're up to, and tell us, mate, you've had a bit of a hard time, so you
Yeah.
share what I share, brother. So
Yeah.
Hey, got to say,
Yeah.
before you start, Brendan, before you get going,
Yeah.
mate, I know, and I haven't met you in person yet, but I'm looking forward to the day that I do. But I know that you've got one of the biggest hearts I've ever known in community, and and that's what it is. It's really about people who love their mob, love what they do, know why they're doing it as well, has a purpose in their life. So, look, welcome. I'm going to hand it back to you now, brother.
Thank you both, my brothers. I missed yous a lot. It's been quite a while since we've actually connected together. So first off, it's always been our law, no matter where we are. So for me, I'm living on beautiful Barkatji country. So, I am so humble and grateful for the life and the love I have living in this country. Um, I am still very proud on who I am as a proud Guga Yalungi on my grandfather's country up in Cape York, Wurchel, Laura, Hopefale, all my family, my mob up there. It doesn't matter that I haven't been there for many many years, but my spirit, my strength, my wawa is always always there. My grandmother's country, the great Keppel Islands, Bopper mob. That's all my grandmother's country. North Keppel is the custodian of we call Kanomi Island. So I am so proud having all those spirits and pay my respects to all of our youth. They are the voices. We say voices of tomorrow, but they are the voices of now. Hearing them is the most important thing for us. We have to be so strong in listening to them. Our elders always, past and present, they guide us, they lead us. They are we we have to listen to their wisdom. Men and women, today they are. So I pay respects to all of that and my brother's country and all that. And also to my, CJ, when you're saying, your grandparents' country, your great grandparents' country, that's wonderful. And knowing that even uh, way before uh, colonization that we actually had a relationship with your mob. They did trade in that in Cape York, and that shows you that how much we are connected. We don't have to be just connected to as just in our First Nations of Australia, but we are connected throughout the world and all that. And
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah,
that's that's how that's why we live the way we are today as the oldest living culture, because we didn't just survive for ourselves. We survived with everyone. And I'm
absolutely.
so
Yeah,
humble that even today, that's how we live together. We survive with each other's spirit, with your spirits. I would not be where I am today strong if I didn't have everyone comes on. So, yeah, just love to show my respects. Um, I'm so glad, JB, you asked me to come on because, as you said, over the last, few months, there's been a lot of things happening connected down, in Wilkenya, and the community surrounding. There's been a lot of trauma. There's been a lot of grief. Um, our brother Ike there that you mentioned, he's been doing a lot of travelling over to Lake Jajelico to support the mob there because of that, the unfortunate, shootings that's been happening and our respects to the mob over there because they're trying to, get through every day with what's been happening there. And, you know, we we travel over to support them and be there. And I've been really that pillar for them while I stay behind and do what I love doing here in the community. So, um, yeah, but yeah, I kind of want to mention something about what I've learned today. Um, and it was really hard for me to understand what was happening. Just to give you a bit of understanding, CJ, as well as my my on Monday there was a brother who's really really good brother. He's had a sort of like a hard a couple of years. Unfortunately, he had an accident where he was damaged, brain damaged. Um, everything that he was looking forward to, he's starting to lose through dementia. He's losing through disconnected because of his pain and his illness. And on Monday, um, he this brother was on top of a bridge, um, and in the community, we were unaware of what his intentions were till someone spotted him, and he cried out for me to go up there and everything. So the ambulance and the some of the community members contacted me, and I went up there, and uh, I ended up without hesitation climbed up on the Wilkenya Bridge, very high, and I was there with him. And my brother, he was in so much pain, and he was talking about that he couldn't handle it, and so I ended up being stuck on that bridge with him uh, for 4 hours in the heat. He was
Yeah.
he was affected by the poison of alcohol, and as I said, he's going through so much with this dementia.
I think we lost brother boy there.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
Now, CJ, I mean, I know I've been talking to Brendan a few times today, and he's pretty really like feeling the effects of all
Yeah.
this. Yeah. So hopefully
Yeah,
Brendan comes
yeah,
back on, and that's
yeah,
why I
yeah,
thought if we invite him on, have a yarn and be able to do it that way, brother. But he is
yeah.
really struggling at the moment, and yeah, look, I really feel for him. I mean, as I said, I mean, I think he's just like one of the great champions, if you like, of
Mm.
of community that there's no well, there probably is comparison, but like to see the work that him and Ike Williams do, it's just amazing, brother. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I'm going to bring him
Yeah,
back up,
brother.
coming
Yeah.
back in.
Okay.
So yeah,
Sorry about that. That's once again digital, digital connection in our
Yeah.
communities, and not just well Kenya. We suffer with not strong internet, and even though we've got that Starlink, it's still struggles. But thank you. Sorry for that little delay. So as I was mentioning, um, there was moments I was on the bridge with him, and he was saying like, "Oh, it's you, Brendan Adams," like recognizing me, and I was so happy. He said, "Oh, you came up here, and like we weren't on just the bridge, we were we were right at the top. We climbed up very high. It was freaky. It was so high, and we sitting there when he recognized me, we were yarning, and he was talking about what he was going through, and I was just there listening, and then all of a sudden he turned around and he can't remember who I was and all that. And he was like so confused. It was, how did we get up here? Who are you? And everything. And, um, and it was just a shock to see how easy um, a brother going through all these I know emotions changes and everything. Then there was a stage from when he went to confused to be really angry and not knowing who I was. He felt threatened, and he was saying he was talking about jumping off the bridge, and he actually ran towards sort of like the railing, and I was so scared, and I kind of grabbed him and I held onto the railings of this of this top part, and I had to pin myself against him, and he was. I had to pin so hard so he could not slip down or try to jump over, and I was there with like 3 hours. And the worst thing about it, being a remote community, we're so limited with a lot of resources directly with us. We had a few police officers, but they were already out on other jobs. And I work as an athlete, so I work with the police. And you know, I was down. I was on the road there, up on the footbridge, and he was calling everyone, SES and all that. And these services are hours away and all that. And so I was pinned in the hot heat with him, and he was going through all those changes and emotions. And, you know, I had to use every bit of strength of me. And I, I, I felt my legs caving in, and I was so frustrated. I was yelling out to everyone, I need help," and all that. But there was a lot of mob down there, or not a lot of mob, but the mob down there, they were ringing everyone, and I was so scared um, that I was going to lose my strength, and he would have, you know, the wrong things could end up happening. But every bit of my spirits, every bit of my, those the mobs downstairs, especially once again, I would say, brother, just keep holding on, and they gave me that little extra strength just to keep him pinned and keep him down and all that. And they were promising they were getting every help and all that. Um, and while he was going through all these mixed emotions, he was so angry. And a few times he gave me a whack in the face and a headbutts and everything, because it was just he was like he didn't know what the go was, at times. And eventually we got, the council came, the local SES guys. They did not have they didn't have all the resources, like harnesses, and and any kind of machine that could have helped us get him down safe. And I couldn't let him climb down himself, even though at times he wanted to, because he was so much affected. And I had to make that choice by just staying there, just stay there, and keep him, keep talking to him. And no matter how many times he was trying to hit me, or try to get me to let go. I just kept saying to him, just hold on, brother. I'm here. That's all I could say to him. I didn't want to. I was never going to preach to him. He didn't need preachers. He didn't know what someone could say. You needed this. He just needed someone, no matter what, if he could remember and did it. Um, 4 hours we ended up being up there, um, and it was so dramatic and everything. Um, and I was so proud of especially the local community. People came together, and we found a way of getting it. We got a cherry picker from a station owner. He was coming up here and on the cherry picker, and then, we had a gentleman who was local. He came from one of the electrical companies, so he had a harness, and all that. So we just came together, and it was so amazing. But what where I'm leading to was what I never realized. And I think this is something that all of us brothers and sisters and mob, we never think about ourselves and the vulnerabilities, and what our past, how it can sneak up and hit you in the face. Um, so that happened on Monday. And when we got him down, everyone was, so I got a lot of people that saying thank you to me and thank you to Ike. And we even even acknowledged, everyone's part. We all did our parts. And so over the next couple of days, there was so much, acknowledgement happening, and New South Wales Police in my area, they acknowledged Ike and myself what our part was, and they were very proud of us that they said that we saved their life with his life and with all the other people. But this morning, the brother got taken to hospital, and you know he came back. He came back this morning, and I was at the station very early, and he came to me and he saw me. He made it out of his way. He said he could not remember anything, but he heard so much what happened, and he was so sorry, and he was. And I said, brother, you don't ever have to be sorry. We know, we live together. We live in the same community. We know everything that impacts on us. And the next line he said is what done me in. And before I said what the next line was, uh, in my in when I was young, before I knew about my true identity, my Aboriginality, I lived in the same street where my real Aboriginal family was, but they never was allowed to tell me who I was. And the person next door to me was a young lad. His name was Headley. He was Aboriginal. He was my best friend, and I never knew who I was. He knew I was his real family. He's his cousin. And he's the same age as me. We were like 7 years of age together. And he wanted to tell me the truth, but he kept it in. Um, he didn't keep it in. That was wrong. He wasn't allowed and everything. And it was those days when that happened. And that impacted me later in life. But what done me, and I'll get into the end of this, and we can yarn about this because I think it's important to share that when I found out who I was, Headley was so important to me to help me to get through my pain and everything. And he had his own pain, but he didn't worry about what he was going through. He just cared for me. He knew that he was that strength I needed to understand who I was. But one day, this is in the 80s, and obviously we never had mobile phones. One day, my brother he was, he was, he was hurt. Something was happening that he was, and he was looking for me. He was bringing the families and other mobs and trying to say, where's Brendan and everything. And um, as I said, we didn't have mobile phones, so it couldn't be just ring me. So I ended up finding out he was looking for me, and I was trying to race to him, but he committed suicide. He died, and that damaged me so much in my life. But what happened today was this good man, um, he came up, and when he apologized, he said this one thing to me, and he said, "Brother, you came up to me, you risked your life, you didn't even think about it. You were there, and like people told me what you did. You held me, you wouldn't let me go, and I was hurting you, I was whacking you and doing wrong things to you, and everything." But he said, "Brother, if you if you wasn't there, uh, I would have died." And that was so. I was so grateful for him to say that. But what triggered me was that Headley, he needed me, and I wasn't there in time, and I never end up getting, never end up. So I had so much guilt, something that I grew up since I was a baby. And I got photos of me together as babies, and when we were 5 and 8 and 10, and the time he needed me, he could not get to me. I could not get to him in time. So I I had all that guilt and all that pain, and all of us, and this is what we all do, we all kind of do, is our history de- determines sometimes who we are. Um, and I think this is what makes us great people, great characters, is because, we had it easy. You don't build a character from easy life. You build character of who you, or the, or what, how you define yourself when you have tragedy and traumas, and that, and what you do with it. And I'm very proud to be who I am today. And you brothers helped me through it when I go through in times. When my brother said that to me, he triggered me in saying, you were, you, you were there for me, but I ended up thinking about the moment when I wasn't there for Headley, and that that put me in a spiral. And the first person I rang up was JB, and I went through so much and talked to you, and you helped me so much today. And that just shows you, you know, in our communities, we are men of strength and spirit for everyone else. But we I don't know how I can put it. We suppress it. We put aside our own pain, so we're always there for others, and we never stop being there for others. But I found a time where I thought I believe I was not strong anymore. I lost something in me because of that moment. But when I spoke to you, JB, you put me in a better place. And I think for us, that's why what we do together. How you come to community. You bring out so much of good spirits with us. So I know you acknowledge me with what I do in community, but I wouldn't. We would never have that strength and that wow if we never had each other. And all the times I've been on here with you guys, and connecting with the other mob, and I used to remember we used to see all those little messages and how we just speak about inspiration and spirituality, and all those comments used to make me feel so good. And that's what keeps us going. But one thing I learned, and I want to express this to all my brothers and sisters and families, no matter where you're from, you are you are always strong, but just always remember. And JB, you say to me all the time, and I believe one day you're going to smack me in the head. You say, "You got to get it in your head, bro. You got to get it in your head." Is look after yourself first. Look after yourself. Look
Yeah.
after yourself. And I forgot that. I forgot that because you know I like we were running out in front of a bus to save any person, you know, and that's the good thing about us. But when we become vulnerable, we forget that we need someone too. And today, I learned, I think, one of the most valuable things, and it was so hard to figure it out because we're the ones telling everyone else, brother, look after yourself, be strong. We're here for you. Um, that we forget that we are also that person that needs it as well. So, brothers, yeah, it was a moment in my life. I love my job. I love my community. I love what I do. I love the love I get in return. I love, like, you would have seen, when JB was there on the 11th and 12th of March. Oh, sorry, February. That's when you were here. Um, that we had young ones there. We had elders, and they all spoke highly of each other, and they gave me, like, one young lad, Lendl. You know, he was 8 years of age when I first met him, and he's there. We'll go through. You know, at that time, we lost about four uh, very important people in our community in the matter of 3 weeks, and and most of them were closely related and Lendl. He was our youngest one at the sessions or our gathering, and he was so inspirational. And that there was showing that I was part of someone's life for 23 years. That's where I've been in Kenya, and seeing him grow makes you feel so good in the end. So that vulnerability, that moment I lost myself, I remember that I had good people around me, not just you brothers, but here in Kenya. And yeah, I think it was really important that we need to share that, because when we suppress it, once you're triggered, it can go really bad. But I am so thankful for you two brothers, all the brothers in the past and the sisters in the past that we used to get on. I still remember some of the comments that were made that just kept me flowing. And yeah, I think I better shut up now. I'll give you time to talk because I think it's time to be up soon. But
Yeah, brother.
I will
No, that's
say
good.
I love you, and thank you.
Yeah,
We love you too, brother. You know that, and like, and CJ and I talk a lot about this, about being able to look after yourself so that you can look after everyone else. And mate, we see it all the time. Like with yourself, with Ike. I mean, you're doing such amazing work in community, but please look after yourself. And
Mm.
and I know after talking to you today, and at times, you know, you'll do what you need to do, and you'll always be there for community. And you probably went way above and beyond what you're supposed to do. And 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 I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I'm not gonna. There was people that are a little bit angry with you as well for doing what you did because they were worried about you.
Yeah. Actually, yeah,
yeah,
you hit that, and that was a wake up call. And can I share this with you? I got I've got beautiful kids all around, but one of my children, child is she's now doing a traineeship to be a nurse and everything, and she decided to become a nurse because she knows that only local people can really help their local families, and got she fought for 2 years to get a traineeship and everything. Her name's Kanomi, and she was while I was um uh, up on the bridge. She wrote something. Wait, I might just I don't know with the camera. This is actually one moment she took a photo of up there on the bridge, and this was the moment because the gentleman in the Irish, he was at SES that finally came up and helped us, for the brother there. But my daughter, her name's Kanomi Wapabara, beautiful.
Hello,
She
Naomi.
yes.
yeah,
Yeah, looking after
I'm
that,
hoping she's listening. Yeah, but
brother.
she said, she texts this to me. So very proud of you and how you overcome obstacles in difficult situations. You're you're a real inspiration to look up to, and one day I hope to be the hero that I see you and many others see you as. But also from time to time, put your needs first, because without you there will be there'll be no change for our future or better support for things like this. Just know I love you so much, and would hate to see anything happen to you. I love you. So
It's,
seeing that, mm,
it's absolutely beautiful, brother.
Beautiful,
And
mate, beautiful. Yeah,
it, and can I just say too, like we like when we're there and you're in the group and Ike's in the group, we see how much respect, how much love there is for you guys. And it doesn't matter who it is in community, brother. They they all got that respect and that beautiful love for what you guys do. and who you are as well. So never ever forget that, brother. So and and I hope you don't mind me saying this, but we spoke a little bit about this today, and you're not to blame for any of that other stuff either, brother. So
Yeah, brother. Can
you
I, yeah, can I
go
just
for it.
say, brother, Brendan, thank you for sharing that story, in particular the backstory that you had when, you know, um, when the lad reminded you of what happened, in your past life with your friend Hendrix. Is it Hendrick?
Headley.
Headley,
Headley.
Headley.
Headley,
Headley.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, things like that, what happened to you as a young fella, sticks with you all the time, and it pops up every now and then, and it popped up for you at that time when the lad come back out of hospital. But I'm thinking, when you telling your story, when you were telling me that story, there were 3 people up on that bridge, mate. Your mate too was
Yeah.
there with you. That's why you were up there. You didn't want to let anyone else go, brother. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
That what happened to you
Yes,
when you
I
were young,
do.
right? That was happening up there at that moment. So it's that, I don't know, it's that conditioning we have, because we have seen loss, we have seen trauma, we've seen all this sort of stuff before. We don't want to let anyone else go through it. You know what I mean? And kudos for you to, fantastic what you did. You saved someone's life, really. But
Oh,
I think what you did was selfish. I suppose they call it selfish, but you had to get up there and save that, because you had that past experience that gave you the courage to get up there, to be staying up there, hanging on to this fella, making sure that he's not going to go, because what happened last time, and it wasn't your fault. And as JB said, you shouldn't hold yourself, you know, hold yourself because of that. What happened to your young mate, that you grew up with. But that gave you the strength. He was up there too with you, helping
yeah.
this other young
Def-
bloke. Yeah. Yeah,
it,
I just picked it up. So go, JB.
Oh yeah, no, look, I think beautifully said, CJ. I mean,
Mm.
and like as we said, we've had a bit of a yarn today, and it was pretty early in the morning, brother. And
Mm.
you know, just know that so many people love you, brother, and what you do, and no one wants to see you hurt. No one wants to see you damaged. You know what I mean? So, and we've spoken about it, and we're going to do a little bit of work on this, aren't we? So. Um, you know, as you know, CJ and I are always there for you, brother.
Yeah,
We love what you do. We love the passion, the energy that you have for community, but we want you to look after yourself as well. So,
Mm.
and
That's
we don't
right.
want to see your beautiful face get headbutted and punched and things like that, brother. It's too pretty a face to
Oh,
have
Jesus.
those things happen, mate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's I think he's frozen again, brother. I think
He is,
he's
yeah.
frozen again. Yeah,
I think he deliberately done that, CJ too.
I think so. Yeah, what a man! What a man this bloke is. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
You know, he was probably up there thinking, what would Gordon tell us to? Would he just take the punches in the head and hang on to this bloke? Raging bull. But
Yeah.
mate, I honestly believe that. I think that his little mate Headley was up there as well with him, telling him, hang on to this bloke, don't let him go. I just, when he said that backstory, I thought, holy dooly. I mean, it's you can tell he's blaming himself for that as well. But
Oh,
it
no
shouldn't
doubt.
be. Yeah.
We had a yarn. I think it was about 6:30 this morning, brother. 7:15 this morning. So, and he was pretty upset, and
Yeah.
we had a really good yarn. So,
Mm.
and I'm glad he's come, because that's what I said. Come on, have a yarn, and and
Yeah.
tell whatever you want to tell, brother. You don't have to tell anything if you don't want to. But it was so brave of him to be able to tell that story, brother, and even go back to like the days of Headley and
Oh,
and talk about that as well. So
yeah.
and,
Yeah.
like
One of the
we
things. one of the things I reckon that happens, in that situation, especially with his past trauma that he had with his best mate, and he's been probably back what do he call it, bashing himself up about it for years and years and years and years, and with with him up there with um, this young bloke, and then that knowledge of Headley, he would have been saying, oh, don't blame yourself, brother. We've got to save this bloke.
Yeah.
I know you couldn't get to me, but we've got to save this fella. This is what we have to do.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like
100%, brother. I mean, and that's you're spot on. I mean, and the thing is that Headley's always there with Brendan. So
absolutely, yeah. Whatever he does,
he's one of his protectors, So
yeah, absolutely,
and it's okay to be sad about it too, because that's part of who we are, So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think that it's coming on here and telling us that story is a pretty brave thing to do as well. And obviously with you, brother, he wants that guidance and that assurance that everything's going to be all right. I'm glad you were there when you were there with him at Will Kenya. So it's something.
But CJ, I mean, and you'd love it. I mean, like being in that space. There's 10 fellas in this group, and everyone, like you can see it. Like you can actually see the respect that everyone has for each other, in this group. And as Brendan said, like there was elders, there was older fellas, there was young fellas there, but everyone's got that same respect, and the love that they have for Brendan and Ike is just amazing, brother. It's like you sit there and you go, "Fucking how good is this?" Like,
how good is it? That's right.
Yeah. How good is this? Because sometimes you wonder in our communities because are we getting anywhere? You know what I mean? But to see 10 fellas come together, 10 fellas come and talk about having a future, and I'm talking about elders and older fellas and younger fellas all coming together, working together, and these two, Ike and Brendan, being that central part of it, if you like.
Oh yeah, absolutely, brother. Yeah, it's good. It's that's the type of person he is. That's who he is. That's what he does. That's what he's meant to be. You know what I mean? And I don't think anyone else would have been up that bridge. I don't know whether that is true. Maybe Ike might have been, but he did say that the young bloke was singing out for Brendan, so he was the bloke that had to get up there and do that. Because anyone else, it would not have happened. Would not have saved him. I don't think anyone else would not have saved him. He would have to be the person.
And I will just add a little bit to that too. Like Brendan said, he had an accident. He was actually assaulted, so had a little bit of damage done through the assault. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, the young bloke, or.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry, mate. I've got a bit of a cold.
Nah, you're all right, brother. You're all right.
Cold. Cold. Yeah, nose cold. I suppose.
Big cold there, is it, mate?
No, hey, mate. We're like, what is it today? Thursday. So we'll be in Alba this time next week. In New South Wales.
Okay. I was going to ask you that because I was going to invite you up to. Because we've got Will Canyon Mob coming to Gold Coast on the 30th of March, I think it is. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if you're around, we'd love to have you up and come and meet Brendan and the mob there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, mate, yeah, if it's possible, that'd be great, mate. I mean, we'll work out how we can make that happen. But no worries. I mean,
we can get you there and maybe do a little bit of work with us starting off there. So.
Okay, that'd be nice, mate. Yeah, it'd be nice. Actually, this stuff, this stuff that we have in our DNA from years and years ago when we were kids and that sort of stuff keeps with us. I was going to say that because, I've been doing a little bit of research, as I mentioned at the beginning, brother, and it was all about what someone said to me here. I don't know whether he was a healer or he was kind of like a healer bloke. And he said, "Oh, you're going to live a long life, brother." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, 80 or 90." I thought about that, and I thought, and I didn't think about it. I just sort of laughed it off and said, "Oh, yeah, right, that's good," and what happened was I woke up that night, early, in the middle of the night. I don't wake up normally, but I woke up and I was thinking about what he just said. It just come back to me. Hold on, 80 or 90, Christ. And I'm thinking that's another 20, 30 years. Shit, what am I going to do for that long? Is it a good thing or not a good thing? Like it's that kind of thing.
Of course, it's a good thing, brother.
Well, you can say, "Oh, I'm not afraid of dying, but I'm afraid of living, that long because you lose a lot of people. If you can live longer than everyone else, people go before you. So there's a lot of trauma." But then I spoke to another bloke and he was telling me about, that means you got, 25 years more to do more good things, and that type of thing. And you'll be the person who holds all the information about your family and all those connections. That's why I talk about my great grandfather from Macassar. And so it turned the narrative a bit, it turned the narrative a bit, and went on to talk about a lot of the stuff that happened to me. And my parents died when I was young. So my dad died when I was 30 and mum died when I was 9. They were young. They're a lot younger than what I am at the moment. So I'm kind of breaking the mold a bit, doing what I've been, living like I am, you know what I mean? And he more said, look, you need to do what your parents missed out on doing. You know what I mean? They're with you all the time. They're always with you. So you've got to be able to move on, do what they, missed out on doing. Is that our brother coming back?
He's coming back. BB's back.
BB's back.
I did want to just, Mark Williams is there, and he said, hello, Brother Mark, and he said, so glad you're there for the brother. I'm happy to yarn up and listen too. We're all here for him. Reach out when that mob gets to the coast and let me know too. We'd love that, Mark.
Good on you, Mark.
Yeah, we'd love that. So thanks, brother. So, well, we're thinking that BB is back, but he's in the black at the moment. So,
yeah. Jeremy said,
Charles are having a tougher time than we had as kids, unfortunately. CJ, you'll have time to come and hang out in your combi with me if you've got lots of time.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, that will be good. Only the combi's up in Cairns, so we'll have to go up and drive it down. But yeah,
you both have to go up and get it.
Yeah, cruise back down the coast. Although I hear there's a lot of rain going on up near Townsville, Mackay. I think the roads are cut and all that kind of stuff at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've got a mate who's on a train, and he's held up at Mackay. They had to get a bus.
Oh, really?
Get on a bus because the water was over the tracks.
We're supposed to be in Townsville next week, I think.
Yeah, just check if you're driving up, brother. Just check the road. Whether they, clear or not open. Yeah, but a fair bit of rain going up in central Queensland too. By the way, Central Australia as well, and up the middle, up through.
The other place we're supposed to be in March is Tennant Creek. So
Tennant Creek, yeah. Well, there you go. See, what did you say? What did you say?
Which one?
Oh no, okay, that's good. Yeah, that's at the end of February. No, not in February.
Which one?
At the end of March. When are you going up to? What time at the end of March?
The Gold Coast. We've got our Will Canyon mob coming on the 30th of March. So.
Oh, okay. Righto, mate. Yeah, no, well, that'll be good. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking the end of February, but we don't have a 30th of February, do we?
No.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, hold on. No, it can't be. But anyway, yeah, we'll be down. We'll probably be cruising up through there. Maybe at Coffs Harbour, actually.
We'd love to get you up, brother, and maybe do a little bit of work with us, and Brendan, and we'll get Mark there as well. And we want him to do a little bit of work with us as well. But he's holding out, brother. So
is he? He'll be right. He'll be there. I'm sure he will be. Yeah, no, it'd be good. And anyone else on the coast, if they, that have come on, um, uh, you know, uh, previously to come and
Well, we got
say hello.
Charlie Fay coming up as well, so hopefully he'll be there. So
Charlie, yeah,
yeah, so
yeah.
Charlie's going to do our welcome for us. So we'll see,
Oh,
see how
good.
we go.
Yes, there you go. Now that'd be
Yeah.
really good, mate. Really special. I reckon maybe Jody Sampson might be in there too. He's on the case. Isn't he? Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, that'll be good. I mean, this is what it's all about. Like talking to Brendan about what goes on in Wilcannia and him working with the young blokes, and now he's taking them up to the Gold Coast, South
He is,
Australia. Yeah.
We'll end
Oh,
up in Australia and then back again. So
yeah.
look, he's back again.
He is.
To go and
Oh,
get my phone and use my phone, my brother. I don't know what the laptop did to me.
That's that's all good, brother. It's all good.
yeah, mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, mate, you look after yourself now. I think I don't know whether you were listening to us when we were talking when you were off, but we think that what you do in that community is beyond the call of duty, if you like, and that's what happens in it. When you get into those positions, you'll do whatever it takes to help someone, and that's you. And I mentioned at the beginning, you've got the biggest heart, brother. So
Thank you.
it certainly helps to have someone like you in that position, especially looking after young blokes and community at large. Look at what happened and look what you did during COVID, brother. Man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something also too, which I wanted to kind of like just say quickly as well. Like our through all of our painting, our history, and what we go through challenges. I know I know this my ancestors. You know, there was some really long challenges I had when I was little, not knowing about my true identity, losing my best friend, through suicide. And there was a lot of other areas of my life where, there was so much pain and struggles. But I think I mentioned it earlier, our spirits, sometimes puts all of those in front of us so that we could rise above it. And as I said, it then it doesn't define us. It what it does, it makes us decide what we will use, how we will use those traumas and everything. And one thing I think what our mob doesn't do is, and you guys are the prime example, especially you, both of you, but especially you, JB, since we met in 2026. So we've known each other in 20 years now, and the times you've lifted me and that, and like when we spoke, CJ, all those times, something we forget is that we don't celebrate our achievements. Unfortunately, we our achievements are being sort of like acknowledged at times at our funerals. You know, we should be sitting down and saying, I am proud of what we've done today. And it doesn't matter how big your achievements are. Like a brother to come out of incarceration and change his life to be a better father, to be a better brother, even just to be a better him. You know, and it might have just been something simple as giving up grog. It might be just simple as, that I am gonna find a job today. And then when he gets that job, he moves forward as life. But you know what? He got that job because he made the strongest decision. And with that strong decision, he acted on it, and he I bet you a lot of brothers that have gone through all of that are so humble that they forget they overcome one of the biggest, hurdles in their lives to 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 accomplish something and then become a better person. And we don't celebrate that while we're still standing in front of each other.
Yeah,
And
true.
and yeah, and it took me seeing a loss of of a very special elder who also was my father-in-law. Um, that he when we were going through his eulogy, that man done so much, but while he was alive, he never spoke about it. He just went on living and doing what he does. That's an inspiration, and all that. And I wish that he s- he celebrated that while he was alive, so that we could just sit back and be astonished, not wait till we hear it in a eulogy, And
Mm.
today, you know, like yeah, thank you, CJ. But well, both of you, but CJ, when you were saying, like what how you're so proud of me and everything, I feel I'm proud for it. And my daughter was a shining example that how she saw me, and I should be proud that I gave that inspiration to her as much as what people gave inspiration to me. And
Mm.
yeah, yeah. I think we all are shining lights, and we should be yelling it out in the top of our lungs.
Yeah, yeah, brother. Yeah, sometimes I suppose we don't hear it, but they watch us and they look up to us. You know what I mean? And look up to each. Not just us, but people. They're sitting in the background. They can see what you've done. They don't know how to say thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
You've done a great job. All that kind of stuff. They don't know how to do that type of stuff, and we need to probably help them. Realize that what's been done is a great thing. You know what I mean? um, until it's too late. You know what I mean? I never said it to him because now he's passed away. It's you
Yeah,
can't say that anymore. But I just think that there are people out there, and there'd be a lot more people in your community and rural Kenya, brother, who know what you've done. You've got some people that came up and said, "Thank God you were there. Thank you, you've done a great thing. You really saved that fella's life." But there'll be other people that haven't actually got a chance to do that yet, and because everyone else has done it, they won't do it. You know what I mean? They probably
yeah,
maybe take some time when you're with them by yourself and start thanking you about what you've done for the community at whole. It's not just that one thing. That's a big thing what you've done, but what about all the other stuff that you've done in the community? You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyday acts, brother, that you do. You and I can, whoever else is there, that those things. And as I said before, like I think you dropped out, but the love and the respect that we've seen, those. We only had a small group. We had 10 people in the group, but the love and respect that those fellas have for you is just like it blew me away, brother. I love and respect you for what you do and everything in community. But to see those community members from Wilcannia sit there and just the way they look at you, the way you can see that respect, you can feel that respect, you can um, and then the way they talk about it is just amazing, brother. So it's something that you probably need to celebrate as well. I mean, you're spot on with what you're saying. We all need to celebrate our little wins, and mate, that win that you had on that bridge is not a little win. It's a friggin' amazing win.
Jeez.
It's massive, brother. And as CJ said, you know. Your brother boy was there, and he helped save. So,
That's it,
we
brother.
talked a little bit about this in our workshop when we were
Mm.
down there about
mm,
feeling our ancestors, our spirit guides, if you like. So, um, there's no doubt that he was there helping out, brother.
yeah.
Absolutely was, brother. And I think also, Brendan, that I know how much you beat yourself up over the years. He's saying it's all right, brother. It's all good. We need to
Hundred
save this
percent.
fella. We need to save this fella. And
Yeah.
you need to not stop. You got to stop beating yourself up. But you've done something that not. Let's face it. How many people save people's lives on a daily basis? In their life, in their whole life. Who
mm,
does that? Not many. Those special people that are there. That have got that. You know. I guess that passion or I don't know what you call it. It's that oh, that's it. I'm here. I'm going to help this person.
Oh, definitely, I get it, and it goes far and above passion. But like I remember writing our post that we did after we left Wilcannia, and the words that I used was, "Here are two true Wilcannian champions," and that's there's no greater praise than that, brother, because that's what you two are. You and I are. I mean, and there's others in community too, but like we just were lucky enough to be able to work with you two guys. We come in and did a workshop, but it was you guys that organised that and got everything going, brother. We only delivered it. You know what I mean? So it's just such a beautiful energy to be in.
I thank you for that. And I'll say I really appreciate it. Like he's a young man. He's been in Aclo for 18 years, and he's that young looking. I'm sure that he started being Aclo before he reached puberty. He's been at it for that long, and he's for a young man to be at a job like that. It shows you how much he loved it. And I might have a lot of life experience, but yeah, he's a young man that is inspirational, and he deserves a lot of appreciation. But I think really, once again, thank you for the respect you say. But what I love the most is that we got all the programs together, or we got everything together in setting it up. But the champion is those 10 men
Yeah,
10 men
definitely.
walk through. They're the ones that they can decide, I don't need to be there. But they, and not only that, they went there, and like I said, we at that time there was like 4 lives, very special lives lost within that, few weeks. And for them to come and share, especially one fella, Uncle Cole, you know, he he was just what he lost personally, to see him turn up and share with him, that was one in a million thing. Um, on top of it, he got a call, and he went, "Oh, I got to go. I'll be back." And when you see Bob that does that, you go, "Yeah, brother,
Yeah,
gone
so
now. We
you
won't see him." Yeah,
Go
yeah,
on.
yeah. He gone, but he came back, and his young nephew, he was astonished to see someone who normally isolates himself, um, to be a part of that group and share everything that he's done. And this man, he was a coach of the football clubs. He was playing for many years. His house was a drop-in center before there was a drop-in center. And he opened up the hearts for a lot of young people to be there.
It's gone. It's gone again. I think.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
He,
What?
he does say
Here he comes.
he's coming back, is he? But he does always say that you can't. Once he gets going, you can't shut him up. So, but
I think he's.
what we're going to do is we're going to call it a night now because
I reckon, mate. Yeah, yeah. No, look, it was so good having you under this fella, and I'm looking forward to now, probably the end of March, maybe. If you're heading up there, I'll have a
yeah,
think about what we can do, and yeah,
I will
that'll be
work
good.
something out, brother. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, 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 yeah. No,
definitely.
but tonight has been a really, inspiring.
It's a
Yeah, it
special
really is.
night, brother. Yeah,
Special
yeah,
night,
yeah.
anyone out there, everyone out there that probably watched this or watched bits of it when we're on actually, but just look after yourselves, look after your family and your
Yeah,
friends.
definitely.
Don't wait till they're up on top of the bridge. Talk to them now. If you see
Yeah,
someone,
yeah.
their behaviour change, go up and have a yarn, take them out for coffee, go for a walk up the street or whatever, and just have a quick yarn with them.
And a
But
phone call is always good too, brother. Eh? So
yeah, give them a call. Yeah, hey brother, how are you? That sort of thing. Yeah, it's I think that yeah, we gotta pay attention sometimes and keep an eye out for people.
yeah, yeah.
Just notice things that
Well
aren't
said.
aren't normal for that person. Their character's
Yeah.
changed. Yeah, what's happening?
Yeah.
Going beyond. But thanks, JB. I mean, like I said, next one. Hold on. I probably won't be here on a Wednesday night because I'll be in the air.
Well, don't forget Thursday tonight, brother. So I had to pull out last night because we were on the road. So
Yeah, maybe Thursday night
yeah,
next week as well. I think. Yeah.
Happy to do whatever we need to do, brother. So
Yeah,
I think it's
I'll
pretty
be
important.
in Obar by then anyway, so that'll be
Yeah.
good.
All right.
Yeah, around this time as well. So what was it? 6:30?
How about 6 Queensland
Yeah.
time? So I'll be up by 7 your time. So
Well, that's good too because we've kind of got stuff out of the road. I've had a little bit of a rest after the flight. So
But we'll work it
anyway,
out,
brother,
brother. We'll keep in
thank you
contact.
very much. Good to see you again, brother.
You too, brother.
Glad you got back from down south
Yeah.
with the new home.
It's been a massive few weeks, brother. Been a massive few weeks, and we've got a massive next few weeks coming up as well. So
Well, just check that road report, mate.
yeah. I think we're going to fly to Townsville anyway. So
oh, well, yeah, okay, that's even better.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
All good, brother. Take care. Say good day to MJ.
If you're talking to the lad, tell him thank you as well. We love the bloke. We love him heaps, and
He's one of our faves, mate. So,
yeah. And I will say, same to LB, mate. Yeah, and I'll let MJ know.
all right.
Yeah, we're kind of looking forward to it, but we're kind of not. We're kind of sad believing,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it's a journey. It's a journey.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, brother.
All right. No worries. Take care, mate. See ya.
Take care, brother.